How are y'all doing this evening? We are doing week one NFL predictions today. What an exciting preseason we had, and we're excited to bring you week one picks. Like, how does it get better than that? It doesn't, folks. Unfortunately, my co host, Dude with a Beard, is still feeling a little under the weather, so we'll get his picks a little later in the week. But we're so excited for football, I could not resist. Cannot resist to do it. So let's start it out with a bang. The first game to kick off the season is Baltimore coming to Kansas City. Kansas City is a 3-point favorite. Now, obviously, as a Chiefs fan on this show, I'm going Kansas City. Now, I do believe this is just a banner night for Kansas City. This is a game that Baltimore could win, in theory, but traditionally speaking, Lamar Jackson doesn't have the best record against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs also have a significantly better offense this year, like dramatically better offense, with still a killer defense. Now, Baltimore did have a great addition, probably the best addition of the offseason running back wise. They added Derrick Henry, an absolute monster. This will be the first time we really see Lamar Hunt with such a dynamic weapon with him. Let's be honest. There's not much to talk about besides some bumps. That's what Lamar Jackson has had, is a bunch of bumps. This will be the first time we see anti-bum stuff teammates for him. So shout out to Kansas City. I do think you win this game. We do bet the money line on this game, but if you were going to go with the spread, I do like the 3 points, even though it is close, right? It is close. But I think it's very appropriate. It's close to a pick'em game is where Vegas has that. The home team generally gets 3 points or so. So I would, imagine it's going to be like a 2.5 point favorite for Kansas City when we get a little bit closer to the match. It'll be interesting to see if this line moves anyway. The over-under is 46.5. I could definitely see this going over. I could see this being like a 31-21, 31-24 type game. So let's bust out the over in Kansas City. Let's give a shout out to FA. Sup? Hope you're doing good tonight. We're out here giving our NFL predictions for week one. This is the take it to the bank kind of show. If you followed us last year, you'll see that we're going to hit on most of these picks here. And we'll highlight the games that you really want to pay attention to and bet on. So the next game you're going to get is Green Bay at Philadelphia. This is another monster of a game. Philadelphia is currently 2.5 point favorites at home. This is a tough one. This is a big matchup. I actually also like Philadelphia in this matchup. I know a lot of people are going to think Green Bay. And if you are betting Green Bay, this is a nice money line game for you where you can get some, plus money there. It's always nice to do that, a little plus 100 if you do the 250. So you get 120 on the money line. So if you bet $100, you'd get 120, and it goes like that. Dylan, I'm not sure who you're trying to get banned. I haven't seen any crazy comments yet, but if you, I'll keep an eye out for you. Maybe the YouTube auto filter is doing it for us. Next on the list, we have Arizona at Buffalo. Buffalo is a 6 point favorite in this game. I think that's a crazy line. That is a crazy line. I don't see this. This might be one I'm betting. I think I might actually bet Arizona in this game. People are overrating what the Buffalo Bills are going to be capable of this season. And Arizona is on the positive side moving up, especially with the addition of Marvin Harrison. And I'm not really sure who on the Buffalo team is supposed to stop Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, oof, we'll see. We'll see. That'll be an interesting one. I think I might just take the points here and take that +6 just in case Buffalo does pull off a victory. You know, you're giving us basically a touchdown for even money, but you that +240 if you hit. So if you were to bet $100, you would walk away with $340. Let's store and highlight that one. That one's got upset all over it. Pedro, thanks for popping in. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that on screen. But I'll keep you in mind later. How about that? How about we do that? We'll keep you in mind when it's time. I got something. I got a cigar rolled up. We might see what that looks like here in a bit. Maybe after we get these picks done. Let's get these picks in. Next up, we have Carolina versus the Saints. The Saints are 4-point favorites. Dude with a beard actually wants to take the tie for this one. And I really kind of see it. The more I'm looking at this, they have the over-under of 40.5. I do like the under of 40 points in this game. I mean, if you're going to pick a team, it's going to be Carolina. But that tie looks very, very juicy. Like, it really, truly does. Next on this list, we've got a surprise one here for me. This one, I might actually look for an alternate line. Houston goes to Indianapolis to play the Colts. They are 2-point favorites. I think I would find an alternate line for +5.5. I would look for that 5.5 and run with it for the Texans, or that -5.5. Excuse me. The -5.5. You'll get their odds of -135 picking money line, which is still a great bet. But I think I'm gonna reach out and gamble a little bit higher. I think the Texans win by at least 6 points in this game. Anthony Richardson has not looked good in these playoffs. Or, excuse me, Anthony Richardson has not looked very good in the preseason, and the Texans are absolutely loaded. Like, that is, I'm going to highlight that bet, the Houston-Indy game. I really like the money line of that. We're going to probably throw that one in a parlay. Next in the game, we have, next up on the list, dun 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 dun, we have the Jags versus the Miami Dolphins. In Miami, Miami is 3-point favorites. I will be picking Miami straight up on the money line. It's going to give me a -170. So just put, a little unit on there and you'll be good to go. I think Miami should put in this work a little easy. Jacksonville Jaguars are a very dominant team. They got the ability to win. But something about Miami this year, they're going to be on fire. Give me Miami to beat Jacksonville on the money line. Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings versus the New York Giants. And even with a little bit of this is a close one too. They have this as a -1 favorite for the Vikings, which is kind of interesting. Now, the Vikings did lose J.J. McCarthy this year in the preseason, unfortunately. But I still think they beat the Giants. I'm going to go ahead and take the money line on this. There's really not much of a difference in that 1 point spread. I mean, you don't want to. You don't want something funky. If they win by one, you don't want to lose just because of that. So just take the money line. If you're a Vikings fan, don't get cute with that .1. That one, there's no extra money there. It's not worth that extra 0.005. So if you bet $100, it'd actually be less than 5. So for like $3, it's not worth the point. And if you're betting less than $100, then it's even like it dramatically drops there for no extra value in picking the -1. But I do like that one. Ooh, next on the list, we have Cincinnati versus the Patriots. -9 point. The Cincinnati Bengals are 9-point favorites in this New England Patriots game. And I understand why. There's very little that will point to anything that suggests the Patriots should win this game. Look, Joe Burrows could sit out, and I think we're still looking very solidly at a Cincinnati Bengals win here. Now, there is a question about Ja'Marr Chase, right? Hasn't got that bag yet, so we'll see. We'll see what there, but I still don't think that's going to be a truly difference. Now, I'm going to avoid that 9-point favorites. For like a, half or something, see what that gets it down to. But really, the money of -500 is still a 20% return on your money, and I would recommend that for sure. Next on the list, we are looking at Pittsburgh versus Atlanta. Now, this is a fun one. Atlanta is 3-point favorites. Now, Dude with a Beard will tell you Pittsburgh is a killer team this year. But with starting Russell Wilson, there's no way I'm not picking Atlanta. Look, we're going to probably see Kirk Cousins come back, right? He's going to play the game. Even if it was Penix, I still feel very comfortable about Atlanta over Pittsburgh in this game. -3 seems like a very comfortable spread. I would almost even look at like a 2.5, just to give yourself a little bit of room. But give me Atlanta in that one. Let's give a shout out to Not. He stopped by and said hi. Give you a shout out back. Always nice to see people stop by. Don't forget to hit that like button, folks. Make sure you guys show me you're not robots. No AI in my chat group. Fake views, you know what I mean? They be out there. I'll be seeing them, folks. Don't think I don't see that switch kid turned on. You know who you are. But if you're seeing this, you know it. Make sure you stay high. Yeah, we seen you not high. Check you out. All right, let's get into a fun matchup here. Tennessee versus Chicago. Chicago 4.5-point favorites. And I actually like that line. The Tennessee Titans have a sneaky secondary. They are capable of shutting down the Bears. The problem you have from there is how you are going to offensively strike against the Bears as the Titans. You're not going to just pull that off willy-nilly. I'm going to pick Chicago in the money line. I think that has upset potential, though. That definitely has some upset potential. Little Dugan, go Kansas. Go Missouri, but, close enough. I can dig it. Next on the list, we have Denver at Seattle, with Seattle being the minus 5.5 point favorites. I'm going to pick Seattle on the money line. I'm going to leave that 5.5 point spread alone, especially with the unknown rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, who will be your starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Now, I don't have a lot. I think they're overhyped on this, but they're really hyped up for a reason. I think Seattle's got enough to definitely do this. And it's kind of funny that these two match up again. But definitely give me Seattle over Denver in that matchup. It looks like you're going to get a minus 260 on your money. I don't think I'm going to throw this one in the parlay, but I do think I might throw that last one in the parlay. So leave because Denver could upset here. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. We'll see. So we'll see what it looks like there. Next on the list, we have a AFC West showdown. What some people might refer this to as the Battle of the Basement. And I'm actually going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost said Oakland. You heard it, folks. I can't get away from it. They're going to be the Vegas Raiders are going to win this game in LA against the Chargers. You heard it here first. The Chargers are 3.5 point favorites, so it is a possibility of being a little funky, but I'm there with it. Like let's get it. Let's go with the upset here. That's going to give us a plus 150 on the return. I like it for the Raiders. Look, the Raiders have a terrible offense with the coach or the quarterback situation, but the Chargers are like the exact opposite. They have a quarterback and nothing to surround them with. Like it's not going to do nothing for you. And I feel like the Raiders playing upset here is a very high likelihood. And let's be honest, the Raiders are going to fill out that stadium. It's going to be a sea of black. Like, it's always a road game for the Chargers. And Harbaugh better get used to that fact real quick like. Next on the list, the biggest dog walk of the week. This one will be going into the parlay. It is the Dallas Cowboys going to the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are 2.5 point favorites. 2.5 point favorites against the Dallas Cowboys. They'll give you plus 110 on the money line for the Dallas Cowboys at Cleveland. I'm hammering this one. Hammering the Dallas. I will be throwing money at this immediately after this show. It's unbelievable. We got Kane Rock says, go Browns. Are you picking the Browns over the Cowboys? That's the magical question. Shout out to Too Cold for popping in. Look, I just don't see it. This is probably the big, I might bet 2 units on this game. This might be a double upper for the Cowboys, because when you see a line that does not make sense to you as a bettor, you hammer it. You hammer it. I don't see how the Browns are favored in this game. And it blows my mind. It blows my absolute mind thinking that the Browns are favored in this game. Have they not been paying attention? Look, Watson's already complaining about his arm, and the season hasn't started. The Dallas Cowboys have got a lot of things situated. Dak Prescott is playing for a contract versus a guy that's got guaranteed money. The Browns have a ton of cap room, but nobody's worried about the Browns. Give me the Dallas Cowboys. Too Cold says hi. Hey, check you out, Too Cold. Chiefs again for the Super Bowl. You know it, sir. And they will be playing the Detroit Lions. Just so you know. Washington versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is 3.5 point favorites at home I will be taking them on the money line. I feel like I need to put this into the parlay as well. This might be one of the on the longer stretch parlays. I like to do a 3 and a like a 7 to 9 team parlay, and I think this might go into the 9 team parlay. Look, Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, the whole crew's there, ready to go. Home game. Washington Commanders, though, are the biggest unknown in the league right now. If you're a Commanders fan and you're upset, like, I can't do it. I don't see it. Now I am picking them straight up on the money line for Tampa Bay with 1 unit. Kane Rock said I can't bet against them and I can't bet it for them. Hey, look, that's a smart move. As there was definitely a lot of times I don't bet. I used to not bet the Chiefs at all. I used to stay away from betting them because it would be I'm gonna bet 17 games thinking they're winning, and we go 3-13. You know what I mean? So it kind of hurts the pocketbooks when you're betting your own team. I try not to play with my emotions on your own team. So if you don't bet the Browns, not a bad move. I'm not gonna judge you for it. Yeah, you can't be mad at a guy for that. You can't get hurt. Why? It already hurts when you lose. You ain't got to hurt both ways. Sometimes when it's the whole team, you get a little jaded. And with the questions with Deshaun Watson, like I just want to leave it alone too. Like just man. And you got Jameis as a backup. That could be interesting. Be nice to see him get a little play time. That's when I'll start rooting for the Browns. We'll start picking them to win when that happens. Next on the list, we have the Rams versus the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are 3.5-point favorites. I will be picking Detroit to win this game. I'm going to leave them out of the parlay. This is a tough matchup versus the Rams. Both teams highly loaded on offense, but I actually think Detroit is evenly matched up here, especially against Matthew Stafford. This game's got a lot of hype around it. I like Detroit in this one. Give me Detroit. Straight money. They got them as 3.5-point favorites. You might look for like a 1.5, 2.5-point line if you want a little bit of a spread, get a little bit of more money in your pocket. So I can't blame you there. And the last game of the week to end it out is the New York Jets versus the San Francisco 49ers. In San Francisco, 3.5-point favorites. They got the only question left is Trent Williams playing. I like the 49ers in this game too. I'm not going to put it in the parlay because the Jets do have Aaron Rodgers, but this is a tough matchup for Aaron Rodgers because the San Francisco 49ers have a monstrous defensive line to really put a lot of pressure on the Jets. He's going to be looking to get rid of the ball quick. I bet we see a lot of Tom Brady-esque in Aaron Rodgers this season. But I don't know if it's enough. Both sides have an offense and both sides have a defense that are worth talking about. So this is a fun matchup. But give me the 49ers in the money line. Like it's just tough, we like to call the 49ers the Chiefs of the NFC. So I think that's a strong comparison, and I like it, and I think that's a smart way to go. I do want to check out some sports news, see if we can't get some sports news in. Now, if anyone's got any questions about a particular game they want to talk about, we can bust back into those. But I really want to see if there's anything that stands out why the Browns are favored against the Cowboys. Like, it just feels like there's something that I'm missing that I don't know about. Did Dak Prescott go down and I didn't find out? Like, what is happening? So let's dive into the news today and see what we can't and don't see. The 49ers and wide receiver Brandon Ayuk have agreed on a 4-year, $120 million contract extension with $76 million in guaranteed money. Shout out to Brandon Ayuk. You know we celebrate when someone gets the bag on this show. It's just what we do. It's what we do on this show. We get excited for these young folks. We want everybody to get paid. You, me, everybody. If you follow us, we'll do our best to get you some sports bets that will get you paid. Get you excited. Last year I had a monstrous week one. Week one is always super strong for me. This is before everybody gets to kind of adjust and see what these teams can do. So this before everybody else catches on, I always strike gold. And it feels like, especially against Vegas sportsbooks odds makers. So we'll see if we can't hammer down the sportsbooks this year. I think we're going to try to turn $100 into $10,000 this year. I think we're going to do something like that. The road from 100 to 10,000 will be the name of the series. Check it out. We need to hit 10 grand by the end of the season, by December, for Christmas and all that good stuff. Let's hit the bag. Let's hit the big bag. I'm for it. I am here for it. According to reports, Bengals' Ja'Marr Chase wants record-setting contract that tops Justin Jefferson's deal by 1 penny per report. He wants to beat it by 1 cent. That's all he's asking for. I just need a little bit more. You got to recognize I'm just a little bit better. I'm 1 penny better than Justin Jets. I mean, he's got an argument for it, right? I think Jefferson's got a higher ceiling, but Jace has been a rock-solid guy. Now, Justin Jefferson has largely done it mostly by himself as a true number one kind of guy. But Ja'Marr Chase, I'm not afraid to give him that money. And look, what we always preach it on this show, it never gets cheaper when you wait, right? When you wait, it costs you more and more and more and more money. It's what cost the Chiefs Tyreek Hill. If the Chiefs would have just gave him that $25 million, Tyreek Hill would have been on the Chiefs. But when Tyreek Hill found out Davante Adams was worth $30 million, he knew he was too. And so the longer you wait, someone else is going to get paid, and he's going to say, I'm worth more than him too. So you need to bust out the bag, Bengals. You get the deal done. Don't let your store go. We like the rivalry. Keep it up. Let's go. Let's get it done, Bengals. Arizona Diamondbacks for the World Series again. Look, it could happen. You're not that. This is a bold sports show, and you come here with that take. Jeez Louise. What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? Probably true. I hate to say it. Go Royals. We might make the playoffs. How about that? How about them Royals? Might make the playoffs. Oh, Bobby Witt Jr. doing something. Ain't it a sight to see? As soon as they want a new stadium, they stop losing 100 games. It's amazing how that works. Josh Allen on being called NFL's most overrated quarterback. My reaction is, I'm not mad that 11 players not on my team don't like me. I'm just going to keep playing football the way I know how to play it. That's what Josh Allen's got to say. But there's some truth to it. Look, he's good enough to win you some games and whatnot, but he is not a quarterback that's going to elevate the talent around him. We've said this repeatedly. The loss of Stephon Diggs will be felt in Buffalo because they did not find a suitable replacement. And the problem is I think Josh Allen needed Stephon Diggs and another Stephon Diggs type wide receiver on the other side. He needed to be set up like Joe Burrows. If Josh Allen was on Cincinnati's team, that might be interesting. He probably would have made a Super Bowl too. Don't know if he would have won it, but I think he would have been able to get past that. The problem for him is when it comes to playoff time, he's only had one legitimate weapon, and now we won't see playoff time because he has no legitimate one weapon. It's just what it is for Josh Allen. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I picked them to make the playoffs last season. We have a consensus pick on this show with me and my co-host, Stu with a Beard, that the Bills will not make the playoffs. And when we have a consensus pick, that is what happens, folks. So go ahead, write it down, take your notes. You Bills fans, you want us to eat crow later. You ran when it came time to talk last season. We'll see if any of the commenters are brave enough to comment now and then at the end of the season. Because it didn't happen this last year. We even got a few deleted comments. You can't hide, folks. We screenshot sometimes. We like to make sure that comment don't disappear into fantasy land on occasions. Because not to say Bills fans do that, but Bills and Broncos fans are the largest perpetrators of the post and run. So, if you're going to talk that trash, stand on your business, folks. That's all I ask. Shout out to the Bills fans. Enjoy those tables. Dak Prescott. I stopped honestly listening to the things Jerry Jones says to the media a long time ago. It doesn't really hold weight with me. You ain't listen to that old man. You don't care what Jerry Jones says. Pay me, don't pay me, someone will pay me. This is the last season for Dak Prescott in the Cowboys, though. You better make it to the NFC Championship game, bud. You better make it deep. You need a real deep playoff run. Now, I almost want to say it's Super Bowl or bust for that contract. That's just how I feel. I'm not sure how the Cowboys fans feel. We'll see. Ultimately, Brandon Ayuk could have gotten more money from the Patriots and the Browns, but wanted to remain with the 49ers and continue to build his legacy with a team that drafted him. Look, I wouldn't have gone to either one of those garbage boo-boo type teams either. You're going to not get a second contract on the Patriots or the Browns that equals the number one wide receiver. You can't let production drop. You don't want it to do it. You can't repeat a contract if the production drops. Okay? So, smart move for Brandon Ayuk. You look, the 49ers could not win with him. There's no way possible they're winning without him. I refuse to believe it. Jaguars, Doug Peterson on Mac Jones has played extremely well, but at times reverts to the Patriot ways. Oof. Not listening to what he wants him to do. Probably wants to loosen him up a little bit. A lot of conservative quarterback play in New England, especially under Bill Belichick. There was a game he only passed the ball 3 times. You got to teach him to let it rip. Let it throw. Get out there, Mac Jones. Don't be afraid to do it. We're excited for you. I hope this is new. I can see Mac Jones getting a fresh start somewhere else. Be interesting to see. Of According to Rappaport, it's now official. Patriots coach Jared Mayo informed players in a team meeting that Jacoby Brissett is the starting quarterback, while Drake May will be his backup. Now, obviously, I think Drake May is a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. The ceiling is clearly higher for Jacoby Brissett, but this does give you a chance for your young quarterback to learn more. Look, Jacoby Brissett is a great fill-in type quarterback. I would not want to go into the season with him as my starting quarterback, but I can understand the decision here. You know, a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of young first-round quarterbacks are thrown into the fire right away. You play or you don't. And developmentally, you could do a lot more for these guys. So let's see what they can get away with here. See what they do. I like it for the Patriots. I think this is the right way, even though Drake May is the better quarterback. Shout out to all the Patriots fans hanging around still. If you're still here, we know you're not on the bandwagon, right? Can't call you a bandwagon fan if you're here now. We got any sports questions for the night? That'd be interesting. The Browns are releasing former Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Snoop Huntley. Cleveland really likes Huntley, but had to make a tough decision with all the quarterbacks on their roster. With the extra spot, the Browns are signing running back Deontay Foreman back to the 53-man roster. Now, Huntley, being a Pro Bowl quarterback, is just an example of how terrible the Pro Bowl has gotten. It's gotten bad. It has gotten bad. It's gotten terrible. Anybody can get in. Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler. That tells you. Oh, Pro Bowl Mac Jones. Shout out to him. We always like it when someone gets a little something on the resume, you know? Mike Tomlin says Justin Fields has too much talent to be sitting around watching. Yeah, I'd agree. You went with Russell Wilson. I think the ceiling is higher on Fields than it is Wilson. You're going to have to deal with a little bit of growing pains with Fields, but you're going to have to deal with aging veteran pains with Russell Wilson. I don't know. Knowing Russell Wilson got the starting job is a little disturbing. I feel like Mike Tomlin's playing it safe. It won't 3-4 games and we'll switch it up. Watch, Fields will be playing before the season gets too far in. Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh says Joe Ortiz, new nickname is Chef Ortiz, those ingredients is mixing into football team are outstanding. I don't even know what the heck he is rambling on about. That was a bunch of malarkey. Let's be honest. Panthers, Raiders, Jets ranked most unstable franchises by agents. Yeah, that sounds about like the list. If I was going to make a list of teams that are just absolute dumpster fires, Panthers are definitely on that list. And then the Jets, you know, not too far off of it. I think it's questionable. The Raiders, you know, are. There's so many money problems with the LA franchise that you don't know what's really going to happen there. I do think the Jets probably the least dumpster fire out of the three, but I can see how the organization is just funky to work with. especially by free agents. You got 1 week to go until football. How about that, folks? 7 days. 7 days. Ooh, this is something. I don't even know what to say about this. Speaking of the Browns. So the Browns have restructured the contract of quarterback Deshaun Watson, converting $44 million of his 24 cap or of his base salary into a bonus, creating $35 million in cap space per sources. Cleveland now has over $62 million in cap space, the most in the entire NFL. But Watson's 2025 and 2026 cap hits are now roughly $72 million per season for Deshaun Watson. That's going to be fully guaranteed money, folks. Fully guaranteed. Write it on the books. Like, that is so crazy. Crazy to think about. Like, I just can't even believe paying Deshaun Watson $70 million. And it's questionable how much he actually plays. Like, I don't believe it's a guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination. What a wild one. Eagles veteran defensive back James Bradbury suffered a lower leg injury during yesterday's practice. Sources tell Tom Pelissero, although surgery is not required, the injury involves a tendon, and recovery time for an injury of this nature is approximately 6 to 8 weeks. So that is going to be a huge hit for the Eagles, unfortunately. That is rough. The 49ers were only willing to trade Brandon Ayuk if they could get a top-flight wide receiver to replace him. They offered a third-round pick to Denver for Courtland Sutton, and then he would have dealt Ayuk to the Steelers, but the Broncos declined the offer. I mean, Sutton to the 49ers would have been decent. Who is your favorite baseball team? I am a Kansas City Royals fan. We might make the playoffs this year. It's getting close. It's getting close. Look, you want to build a new stadium, and all of a sudden we ain't losing 100 games no more. Oh, you're a Braves fan. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that. They've had some monster teams lately, huh? How about those Braves? Almost reminds you of those, like 1990 years or something, you know? Could be worse, but not the world's greatest season for him this year, but, back on track. I like it. Shout out the Braves. The NFL has announced that broadcast networks are now allowed to conduct in-game interviews with head coaches and coordinators. Plus, TV partners will be able to air the pre-game locker room footage before kickoff, as well as some pre-game player interviews. I think they should keep all that to the postseason. Chris Sale for Cy Young. Hey, I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to it. I can see that happening. Like, it's not impossible. Can we get Bobby Wood Jr. for the MVP? Now that's the question. That'd be interesting. Well, don't forget, folks, the Packers and Eagles game will bring NFL Friday Night Football live September 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time only on Peacock. So we might live stream that game too. We're usually live on Fridays anyways, so that might be a watch party I know we're gonna do a Chiefs watch party, so that it is questionable. It is questionable. We might do a regular show. Yes, I'm from Nebraska, so Bobby Witt is my favorite player after Austin Riley. Hey, shout out to that, man. You know, we get a little bit of support out of Nebraska just because you guys don't really have a baseball team to root for. It does make me kind of wonder how'd you get down as an Atlanta Braves fan as a Nebraskan. Now, as a Nebraskan, you got open books. You're free to choose, right? Like we can't make fun of you for any of your choice. But I always wanted to catch a game in Omaha, like one of those minor league games. I always thought that'd be cool. I never made it up there. And I wanted to check out the zoo. Heard you guys got a good zoo up there. Sean McVeigh says Puka Nakua is practicing fully. He'll be ready to roll. Shout out to Puka. His brother or cousin, I think it is. I think it's his brother. Looks like a monster as well. The Chargers have announced they officially acquired quarterback Tyler Heineke from the Atlanta Falcons in exchange for a 2025 seventh round pick that converts into a sixth round pick if certain conditions are met. Shout out to Atlanta getting something out of a third string quarterback. Oh, from your uncle? Hey, that's a good way to do it, you know. My uncle was a Seattle Mariners fan, and I liked them a bunch when I was a kid too, just because like fond memories of working with them and listening to the game on the radio, you know. So good times, man. So shout out to your uncle for getting you involved in some Braves baseball. That's pretty dope. That's a good connection. Guess the Saints have failed all-pro punt returner Kenye Nguanu on his physical, and he will return to waivers. They said, no, thank you. You're too hurt. He is a former Minnesota Vikings. The last 2 years in Deshaun Watson's contract will count for $173 million. $173,604,802 against the cap. So after 3 seasons of only 56 million of the 230, we'll have that cap, leaving almost 175 for the last 2 years plus a third year dead cap hit. What an absolute disaster. Gotta be the worst trade to ever exist. Can you please turn on the... I don't even know what that is. Let's see. I don't know what that is, dude. I'll have to look that up once we're done. Now you got me wondering. Man, you got me Googling things. I hope this isn't some troll. This better not be no troll job. Yeah, I'm going to look it up. Oh, you got me Googling. This might be a troll. And if you got me, this would be the best one I think I've had so far. Yeah, I feel like it is. I think you got the wrong word, dude. I don't get it. Don't get the comment. He's considered one of the greatest military commanders in history and the greatest of all of the Byzantine generals. I mean, I don't get the connection. Need to turn the general up from 1 to 10. Get the heightness. Is that what you want? I'm not sure. I thought it was going to be like some kind of contrast video setting. That's how retarded I am. I wonder what happened there. That's a funky one. Yeah, I think I might have got. I'm like 10% thinking. I'm like 50-50. I'm so confused. Don't even know where to go from there. In a plot twist, the former Vikings first round safety Lewis Cine is expected to sign with the Bills practice squad. Sources tell me Rap Sheet Sign, who is headed to the Buffalo now, has initially leaned towards the Jets, but opts to go elsewhere in the AFC East. So shout out to him for that. I can dig it. I can dig it deep. I don't blame you. Get you another job somewhere else. Kind of crazy. It's the practice squad. Rookie Week 1 report. Here goes the rookies to start the season. Caleb Williams starts versus the Titans. Jaden Daniels starts at the Bucks. Drake May backs up Jacoby Brissett. Michael Penix Jr. backs up Kirk Cousins. And J.J. McCarthy is on the injured reserve. So that should be an interesting one. And Bo Nix is starting versus the Seattle Seahawks. Which just has to be sweet irony for the NFL. Like, I don't know how that happens, but it happens every year. Every time you want to poop on the Broncos fans, you just start the season with the Seattle Seahawks. And that's an interesting way to go. Well, folks, this has been our show for the evening. We appreciate you stopping by. This has been the Boat Sports Show. And we'll see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock.